Okay. If we are working with our pre-installed app, so basically it is our pre-installed app, and in this app I don't have any node modules folder. So when we don't have any node modules folder, so that time we can get this kind of issues. Basically it is a dependency issue. So this is our all dependencies which cannot available right now, because last time when I sent you the source code, so that time I was removed the node modules folder. Okay, so right now I need to set up it first, and install. Then I can start this. Hello.
Yes, sir. You can see. Yeah.
Okay, so mm did you practice yourself?
Yes, I could proceed till what you have
Okay.
said.
Okay. Actually, I was said how our Angular application framework is created, and how can it work. But today, I want to start from the JavaScript part, basic JavaScript,
Okay.
how it work, and after that I talk about something TypeScript, and then say overall thing. Okay, so basically
Okay.
this is actually a JavaScript framework, but most of the libraries are written on TypeScript language. So basically Angular, after Angular version 2, we are getting all the updates or code with the TypeScript when we are working with here. So now I just remove uh, some folder, because in this particular folder I'm not working on right now. So now I create a folder, um, class 3, and now here, uh, when we are actually working on JavaScript for browser, so basically if we are working with JavaScript in browser, so first thing we require index.html. Index.html is the primary file where we can embed our JavaScript file uh, for the browser. When we want to run our application on browser, so that time first file is required is html, and second file will be uh, script file, where we can embed our file main.js or script.js, script script.js, and this script.js will be embed with this particular folder. Okay, so this is the process where we can embed our JavaScript file with the HTML, and once it embedded, and then we can see the output through uh, open with live server. And this open with live server is a plugins which I installed from the extension section. So if you are not getting this kind of um option, So then you just go to the extension section in your VS Code. After that you just search here in the extension section live server. So these live server plugins are required to launch our uh, HTML page as local server or local server path. Okay. Hello.
Yes, sir, I'm following.
Okay. So this is the way to see our application on browser with this. Okay. So this extensions is required. So how it work in from the JavaScript? So basically, if we want to see, if we want to render anything from JavaScript, so basically, and mostly we are manipulating the content from the JavaScript mostly. So basically, when we are work with Angular or any kind of front-end framework, so that front-end framework actually working with the JavaScript mostly. So basically, thing is, first,
Okay.
if we want to produce some data through JavaScript, so basically this particular file called as document. So basically, if we want to put any data in this section, so basically here we can use any type of uh, normal element. So this is the normal element which can use div id root. So if I want to use this kind of id as root, so this is the selector actually. And if we want to push any kind of data, so that time we can use it by JavaScript way, like this. Document dot get element by id, and first I just simply use the root uh, for this root are actually taken a object. It is actually this element are this particular variable are converted as a element object, and after that we can use this kind of options. Basically thing is, here I just create element. Document dot create element is another function where we can create any kind of HTML attributes like this, and after then we can put content through the JavaScript, and that JavaScript content can be pushed by like this. So this is the way where we can see our data, where we can see our data in the browser. Okay. Hello. Hello.
Yes, yes, sir, I'm following, I'm following. But there is background noise, so I have put on mute. That is the thing.
You get some background noise?
Yeah, no, no, here, my end.
Okay, okay. Okay, so basically thing is, this is the actual process where we can put any other content through this way. So this is the actual way which is the process of producing the data from the backend. And also in the Angular side we are using this kind of process like app root. So this is the element selector, this is the custom element selector. If we are if we want to do same things by JavaScript, so that time we need to be use some query selector, and after that we can use it like this way. And this particular syntax also can push this data same way. Basically if we want to see it into the um, inspect element section. So after that we can see the app root, and after that we can get the data uh, from the JavaScript like this. Understood? So this is
Yes,
the
yes, I
this is
understood.
this is the way where we can put the data through the JavaScript actually. So when we are manipulating and data, and if we want to see changes anything, so that part are actually working by from the JavaScript like this way. So this is the JavaScript way where we are actually using. So basically, this is the basic part of JavaScript where we want to manipulating any templates like this. So this is the JavaScript uh, web website part. This is the website part. But now I just something talk about application level, which is a required application level. And now in application level, I just created app.js now, and this when I create it app.js, and this app.js file will be running from the nodejs panel. So if we want to see it output, so then we can get write something here for get output. So for that particular purpose we can use console log here, and then we can use just simply hello world here, and after that open in integrated terminal here, and then we can run our code in the from the folder, and then we can run it is with the node command line. So using the uh, node, and then we can use the file name here to see our data which I am writing here. Okay, so this is the another way to get out the data from the um, system console. So when we are get the data from the system console, so that means this particular way to get our data output from the server side. Basically, this is the way where we can use our application for the server side also. So these two way can manage through the JavaScript with the another one option is the browser option, and second option is the nodejs module option for the server side working. So now when we
Okay.
are working with JavaScript, so basically we have identically JavaScript syntax code which call ES5 and ES6 ES6 uh, syntax. So can you say what kind of things, what is the ES5 and what is the ES6? Do you know about this?
No. Okay.
ES means ECMAScript.
Okay.
ES means ECMAScript, and this is the actually JavaScript code name. It is a actually code name of JavaScript, ECMAScript. And ECMAScript version 5 and version 6 is identically changes when we writing some codes. So there have two type of identically syntaxes we are using in our current JavaScript. Basically, ES5 are launch actually use by launch it 2003. It is launched 2003, and it's
Okay.
running on up to 2014. So basically thing is ES5 actually running almost 10 years uh, in, in JavaScript, and ES6 is the latest version of JavaScript. Basically
Okay.
when we are work with ES5, so there did not have class syntax, there did not have any module options, so there but that JavaScript mostly working on browser, that JavaScript not working in the system. But when ES6 are actually released, and actually every years ES versions are released by the year's name. Basically ES6 are released in 2015, and after that next year they are released ES7, and then yes
Okay.
7, yes 8, and like this they are released every year with the some optimizations, some updations with the base JavaScript syntax.
Okay.
But basically thing is every year when they are released, so they are sometimes confused what will be name for the versions. So that
Okay.
time they are actually shifted their name with the not ES6. They are actually use their versions name with the ES with year name. Like if in this year is released ES version, so they are using their version name will be ES 2025. So basically
Okay.
every years they are actually converted their name and their versions name with the year name, year number. So basically they are actually using this kind of process. But base syntax are difference we are getting from this particular versions ES5 and ES6, because ES5 did not have class syntax, but ES5 too much popular or too much usable every browser. Basically older browser and newer browser, every kind of browser can support ES5. But ES6 uh, from the ES6 actually most of the new browsers which are updated, they are actually they can support ES6 and later on. So basically thing is if any browser, any system are not updated like Windows XP, and that's browser, their browser are not maybe updated, but they can support ES5. So basically this is the identically changes, and if we get this work with these changes, and what kind of actually syntaxes are changes in two versions. So first, variable declarations is the first way where have some changes we are getting from here. So when we are using when we are creating any variable in ES5, so that time we only have var as declaration process to declare any variable. But in var, var is a syntax of for ES5, ES5.
Okay.
But when we are using ES6, so that time we can see it let and const comes from ES6.
Okay.
So this is the little bit difference in var, let and const. But at this moment we can use var, let, const, both of things in our current scenario. So basically if we are using this current scenario uh, these three, so how it's different, how it's different, how can
Okay.
we understand, how can we understand this, have this question,
Yes.
how it work and how can understand
Yes.
this,
Yeah.
why it's different and how it is different. So
Yes.
basically if we are working with the var, so var is the global variable syntax. If we are declare once, So it's easily rewritable. Basically thing is, if I write the var syntax, and after that I just simply use the var equal to var a equal to 10, and then I just give the output through the console log, and we can get the output. But repetitive, if I use this for 20, so then we can easily can change same variable name, use same variable name with the another value easily. So then we can see
Okay.
both of output. But if I not using this, so our actual value is updated, right?
Yes.
So basically thing is, they have a memory uh, acquired, but that memory are volatile. Basically when the value is same, when value is different, but memory is same, but value is overwritten. So if we are
Okay.
using it with the let syntax, so that time we cannot use redeclarations with the let syntax.
Okay.
Okay, so that means if we want to try to run this, so this call identifier a already been declared. So basically thing is, if we are using same um, syntax and to create reallocate our uh, memory, so that time it's not possible with the let syntax.
Okay.
Okay, but if we want to reassign the value, so it's possible.
Okay.
If we want to set assign reassign the value, then it's possible. But if I use it const, so that time reassignment is not possible.
Okay.
Basically constant variable, if we want if we put a data once, if we put a value once, then we cannot put another value after putting the value. Okay, so this is the basic understanding about the let const, sorry, var let const. Understood?
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
So this is the
Yes.
options which is are actually uses. So this is the actually uh, problem of uh, identifications problem. Basically when it is are working, sometimes we can use const, sometimes use let, sometimes use var. But if we are using var, so that variable can be rewritable easily. If we are using
Okay.
let, so that time that variable, if we were if we create once in the scope, uh, in same scope, that not possible. So how can we create scope? Basically how can we create scope? Scope
Okay.
basically comes from brackets. So this kind of bracket are build a scope. What is that? So basically before this bracket we can use var a like this. Okay, and after that we can use the output a. Okay, and also we can use var a here. So how, mm, what type of output from here, can you see me?
Will it be 20?
Yes, basically we can get it as 20. Basically here this particular value variable are redeclared here, and we can get the output from here, because it's coming it's just read line by line, and this particular brackets are not bothering to bothering as a scope. But if we are create it late, and then it is also late, then what will we get the value, what kind of value we
10.
can get, because it is 10, because it's a global scope and it's a local scope. Basically, when I use the let, so that time we are not getting the value, inner value to outside here. Also same thing, we can use const like this. Okay, and if I use const,
Okay.
so similar way we are getting the inner value first, because it's a calling first, and then we can get the another value this way. So these two variable name is same, but scope is different. So that's why we can use both of variable name same, but scope is different. So for that we can use same name with the different scope.
Okay.
But in the same scope we cannot define everything. But how can build the scope for the variable? If we want to create a scope for variable, so how can do that? Basically, this particular syntax is updated into the ES6, but basically everything is comes from the ES5. Basically ES5 previously supported everything with the different manner. So basically
Okay.
ES5 actually obey only function scope. So basically, if we want to create any function like this, and then if we use the var a like 20, so that time we can only use the function like this. So this is the actual way where we can create the different value with the different scope by using function. So this is the scope which are understanding through the var syntax. So if we are using the var syntax, so that time this similar like output we can get from this syntax in ES5. If we are using ES5, so basically in behind the scene, this syntax, this updated JavaScript syntax are converted into this syntax when it is running on ES5 syntax. Understood?
Yes.
Basically, how it possible? Sometimes we are working with TypeScript. Basically, TypeScript give us this kind of process to convert our version change. Basically, this is the target, which version we can target. So that time we can set the target in JavaScript. In TypeScript configuration file. So there we can mention we will be write our latest syntax of JavaScript, and that JavaScript syntax can be converted into the back support by back support compatibility if we want to need. So then we can with the some basic supports, and that supports are comes from the TypeScript language. These particular things actually maintained by with another JavaScript library which called babbel.js. Babel Babbel.js. This Babbel.js actually creates the difference. Basically, Babel is a JavaScript compiler where we are using next generation JavaScript like this, and that JavaScript are converted with the browser compatibility JavaScript out. Browser compatibility means actually this time every JavaScript can support it this kind of syntax directly, but when uh, like Windows XP browser, if we are want to use, so that time that browser compatibility comes from this code actually. So this is the way which is the conversion process, and this conversion process basically are created by the Babel JS internally when we are working with TypeScript dependency. Okay.
Okay.
So this is the one way, and another way. Basic syntaxes are same, like if else, switch, ternary. This all syntaxes already supported from previous version. That means ES5 version. But if we want to create any class syntax for ES5, so ES5 class syntax does not support it. So this class syntax when it not support, so then we can use it like this particular function way. It's called constructor function. Basically here we can create some property name like this with this syntax, and here we can use the app, and then we can use the version like this, and after then we can get the information with version. And when we are using this kind of process to create our class, so basically thing is, after using this class, then we can instantiate by like this, and then we can use the we can create the object through this, and then we can get the output like this. See the output.
Yes. Yeah.
So this is the way where we can using ES5 version like this way, and this is the this type of this process is called constructor function. This particular function is called constructor function. So through this way we can create the class without class syntax. But if we are this same data, if we want to get output from the ES6 version, basically this is the ES5 class. It is actually ES5 class. Okay, but if it's converted into ES6 class, then we can use it class app like this, and then we can declare the property like this, and version 1, and after then we just use the info function like this, and then we just simply copy this syntax here for ES6, and we can get same output with the ES6 version.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the conversion of ES6 which is comes from ES5. Okay, this is the ES6 version class, and it is the ES5 version class which is called as constructor class. Actually this is called constructor function, not constructor class, constructor function. CONSTRUC constructor function. So this is the constructor function, and it is a ES6 class or normal class which is comes from the ES6 version. So currently we already have backup support also. Basically everything is working. It is the ES5 version and it is the ES6 version, but currently currently now I am working with JavaScript latest version, with the JavaScript latest version, but everything is supports available behind the scene.
Okay.
So this is the actually JavaScript process, but same things if we want to create with the TypeScript, so that time this same things created by the first TypeScript with the TS file, and this TS file are when we write like class app, and this class app is supports in TypeScript also, but when we write TypeScript, so basically we can use data types to set the data uh, purpose. So basically in JavaScript we cannot set the data actually. So actually I just rename this file for with the old actually old way. So basically now I just simply use this file like this, and after that we can use version VRSION version, and then we can use the data type is number, and then we can put the value here, and after that we can use the info function like this, and everything is same which I write before in this file like this file. So what is the difference between this and this? Can you say me?
Data type.
Yes, here only difference in data types, but thing is when I write this syntax with the TypeScript file, this TypeScript file not be performed directly. Basically if we try to run this TS file, so that time it's not working directly.
Okay.
If we try to create this directly, so this time it's not working directly. Why? Because this string identifier does not understand in JavaScript, and as well as nodejs also don't know about this particular thing. So how can compile? How can the compile this syntax and how can we convert it? So if we want to using TypeScript for our application development, so for that we need to go TypeScript lang typescriptlang.org. So this is the website where we can get TypeScript compiler. So TypeScript compiler have two way to use this particular language. So basically mostly if we want to use it locally, so we need to set up it um, via npm. So if we want to set up it via npm, then here I have two way to use this particular TypeScript code. So first we need to set up the dependency in our system and then we can use it. So basically if we use this syntax, so that means this particular syntax can be work in local development environment, but if we want to use it globally anywhere, if you want to use the TypeScript compilation code, so TypeScript compilation code is tsc. Tsc is a TypeScript compiler syntax, TypeScript compiler command line, and this command line can be used by when we can use it in globally. Okay. Hello.
Yes, sir. Understood.
Okay. So for this particular purpose, first you need to check out TypeScript compiler is available in your system or not. So if you have a TypeScript compiler, then you can use this particular way to see the TypeScript compiler is available or not. So this time it's showing me TypeScript compiler is not available. Okay, in my environment system, in my global environment. So if we want to use it, so just I copy this syntax from this site, and after that I just simply install this TypeScript command for globally. Then we can see the output of the TypeScript compilation syntax. Okay.
Yes.
So this TypeScript syntax is coming here, and once we get the TypeScript compiler, and then how can run it? First, we need to be compile this TypeScript code tsc app.ts. Once it compile and it's compile in JS file, and when it compiled JS file, then we can run it through the nodejs command line. So basically only our code running from the nodejs with the JS file, but when we write our syntaxes with the data types, so that time we can use TypeScript, and this is the way where code are replaced with the ES5 manner. So basically this time this particular syntax are converted into the ES5 syntaxes. So this is the syntax, and this syntax are converted like this into the JavaScript. Have any question?
Got it. No. Clear.
So this is the difference between the TS and JS. So can you say me why TypeScript is most important for the Angular?
No, no, sir. So why we need TypeScript when there is already JavaScript?
Basically, why needs TypeScript at this moment? Basically, when you given a JavaScript developer interview anywhere, so they must be asking, uh, you do you have any TypeScript knowledge? Do you know, do you working on TypeScript? Everyone asking in interview session when you are going as JavaScript developer. Basically, JavaScript have no data types. Okay, and as well as uh, if we working in a team, so most of the times some junior developers maybe do some problem with their data types. Basically, sometimes we consider this name as string, but sometimes somehow some junior developer can put data as boolean or as number also. So in JavaScript have no checking options directly. If we want to check that data, then our code will be maximized to
Okay.
using that data types, invalid data types for checking for invalid data types. But when we write the code in TypeScript, so there we have no possibilities to change the data directly. Like if we want to use the app name, and here I want to use the number, so this compiler actually complaining us because number is not assignable type string. Understood?
Yes. Yeah.
Basically in the TypeScript, when we are put wrong data types, so our VS Code compiler are complaining it first. But if I use it and after that I just try to compile, then it's give us problem on compile time. But if once it updated in JavaScript, if it is updated, already it's updated, okay, that means it's given compilation error, but already updated the file. So if file is updated, so in the runtime we are not getting any output, we are not getting any error in the output when it run in JavaScript. See?
Okay. Got it.
So this is the problem of with the JavaScript. So if we are working in the team, so that time data types is much important, uh, because JavaScript is simpler, but data types is not available in JavaScript. So for that particular only one reason and to use TypeScript. So here you can use the you can go to the TypeScript lang.org official website, and here TypeScript is a JavaScript. Basically every syntax comes from JavaScript, uh, into the TypeScript, but there have only JavaScript syntax for types. It is only mentioned in the TypeScript language. Basically, currently every kind of syntaxes like class, let, const, every type of syntaxes comes from the JavaScript. So TypeScript only provides the data types, only provides the data types, as well as if we want to convert it into the ES5 options and browser level syntax, so that can be created by the JavaScript also. Basically this particular syntax actually comes from the this particular process are actually not ES file syntax, ES5 syntax. It is actually sorry, it is not a ES6 syntax. It is actually ES5 syntax, and this ES5 syntax actually working for the browser, every kind of browser.
Okay.
And also this JS file, if we want to transport it by the Google Drive or email, so that time this JS file cannot be shareable. We
Okay.
can share our code by the TS file only. So this is also process if we want to share our data through the mail or Google Drive. So they are not permitted in JS file directly, because JS file can be vulnerable for the website browser. So basically for that particular purpose, we need to be use the TS file. When we are using the TS file, so in the TypeScript have some set of knowledge or set of instructions in the TypeScript documentations. Basically, if you are want to understand very good about the JavaScript, so every kind of TypeScript references you can get in this particular websites, and this this is the way where we can easily understand about the TypeScript very quickly, and this JavaScript this TypeScript can properly uh, understand the proper object-oriented programming manners like Java, C Sharp. Basically, if we want to using C Sharp or Java programming language, that time if we are using TypeScript, so almost its work look like native language. Basically, C Sharp and Java language called as native language. So TypeScript also look like same. Okay.
Okay.
And here I have some process. If you comes from if you are new programmer, you can use with TypeScript. If you are JavaScript programmer, so you can use TypeScript. If you are using Java or C Sharp programmer, so that time you can use this. And if you are functional programmer like C developer, they can also use this TypeScript with their way. So you comes from C Sharp background, right?
Yes.
So if you are comes from the C Sharp background, so there you can understand about this rethinking about the types, and here is the some potential way to understand your in the JavaScript uh, in the TypeScript syntaxes like this, because you are familiar with the interface, you are familiar with the class, but this interface syntax also does not support it in JavaScript language. It's only can support in TypeScript. Can you say me what is the interface?
Sorry.
What
Sorry,
is
sir.
what is the interface? Can you say me why we are use interface? Hello.
No. No.
Can you say me what is the object-oriented programming language?
Everything is considered an object. You create it for code code blocks. So it's to have different code blocks. and everything is considered an object. So it's basically to interdependency or independent
Actually,
coding. So we create an object, it can be used anywhere.
actually, when we want to create the object-oriented programming language, object-oriented programming means basically every objects have their body or definitions which is are stored before, right? Without class we cannot
Yes.
create any
Yes.
object. Is possible?
Yes.
Without
No.
creating any
No.
class we can create any object?
No.
No. So that
First
means
we need to have a class.
if you want to create any object, so before that you must have a class for the description. Without class you cannot create object directly. So is possible without create any class, any object directly,
No.
but in JavaScript is possible.
Oh, okay.
In JavaScript is possible without creating any class. You can create object directly into the JavaScript language, and this is the confusing. This is very confusing because as per object oriented programming manners, if we want to create any object, so before that we must have a class first and then we can create the object, right?
Yes.
So how can we create the object in JavaScript? Can we see? Can do you want to see how can
Yes,
create
yes.
the
Yes.
object without creating object,
Yes.
without creating class?
Yes.
Uh, our my discussion is valuable or not?
Yes. Yes. Very valuable.
Okay. Actually, thing is, if you are not think it's useful or valuable, then I don't. I did not. I will not discuss about this. But if you think
No, no, it's valuable.
it's valuable, then I can discuss it. Because
Yes, yes, please.
basically thing is, sometimes it's boring, sometimes it's interesting, but it depends on people to people. So basically thing is, if we want to create the app like this, so basically this is the app object, right?
Yes.
But without creating object directly, class directly, basically this time I am not creating class, any class, okay? But now I just use like this way to create the value directly in object. So basically this
Is
is the
it possible in any other programming language?
sorry, repeat your again question again.
Is it possible to do like this in other programming language?
Sometimes it's possible in Java programming language. It's called prototype object. It's
Okay.
also similar like in C programming language, which is called struct, because C programming language have no class syntax. But if we want to create it by the C programming language, that time we can use it as struct. Basically, it's called struct. But
Okay.
after that, when we are comes in Java, and actually Java programming language is released 1996, and this particular object oriented programming concepts are comes in 1991, by James Gosling, which is created by, which is actually creator of Java programming language. So James Gosling and with other three team member, they give some object-oriented programming manners to create or build applications easier and safer and robust. So that's a particular and that's thing calling their uh, process are calling gangs of four design, actually design pattern by gangs of four. So there have so many designs pattern in available in the market, and designs pattern actually comes from the object-oriented programming language first. So if we want to create any object-oriented programming, then we can see the data types like this. So basically, without creating class, we can directly calling object directly. So this is this time I'm not creating any class, right?
Yes.
But we are actually creating object directly, and after then we can get the object data value with the object function.
Okay.
But as per object oriented programming language, we need to be create class first, then we can create the object, and then we can use that function, right?
Okay.
So this is the way of object oriented programming language. But in JavaScript programming language, we can use this way very easily.
Okay.
So sometimes it's give us into confusion which is the process. This is the right process, this is the right process.
Okay.
So
Yes.
both of are right. Both of are right. But sometimes it's confusing if this particular process is not available. So this particular things not be available. Right? If,
Yes.
if this
Right.
particular process is not available, then this part also not available. So basically the thing is, if class is not available, then your object not available.
Right.
So basically process is this particular way you can create object directly. So sometimes you can use your application memory by this way also. Sometimes you know about you heard about C programming language have pointer issue. Pointer issue means they can access memory directly through the pointer, right?
Yes. Right.
You can hear it heard about this.
Yes.
Basically why C programming are obsolete. Basically everywhere running C programming language behind every programming language, but when they are using the pointer for any kind of functions with any kind of functions, so they can access the memory directly. So basically this is the flaw, and it is also vulnerable for programming language, because if you are writing any programming language, if you are creating any particular property, and you can access that property directly, and you can change that value easily using pointer, so that is not good way, right?
Right.
So JavaScript programming language also similar like C for the browsers. So basically similar type of things can do by the JavaScript. So when it comes this kind of procedure, so object oriented programming functionalities must be important. And if we want to create object oriented programming, so JavaScript continuously updated, and they can support both of things, modern way previous way. So everything can be supported in single code base. But problem is they can support older things too, like this kind of process they can support it. So if we are using JavaScript directly, so that time we cannot secure uh, our code by the data types or other uh,
Object.
programming
Oh.
manners. Programming manners.
Okay.
Okay. So, object-oriented programming manners. So that's why we can using the data types. And when we are
Okay.
using the data types using this way, so every time if we are want to create the if we want to create the object-oriented programming language, so we must have in object-oriented programming language we must have 5 things is required. First we need
Sir, can we do this in next class? If it's fine with you, just from here.
okay, just a little bit, give me time.
Sure. Okay.
So one is class, second is object, third is inheritance, fourth is polymorphism, and last thing is encapsulation. These 5 things is required for object-oriented programming language. If these 5 things are not available properly, that means that programming language may have some security level issues if they are not using proper security check.
Right.
Okay, so these 5 things are required in object-oriented programming language, and when we are using this, that time we can properly can manage all the things, these 5 processes, and
Okay.
in next class we will be discuss about this. Okay.
Sure.
Okay. So bye now.
Thanks, sir. Bye.
Okay.